Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome. Sorry it took so long to set things up. Sorry about that. It was just a bit of a small work call thing. Today we've got some interesting things to play, but I need to ask a very important question. How many of you here play Roblox, and is it a problem? So I talk about this a lot, where I'm like the caretaker for a fair number of children in my life. So I need to make certain decisions as to whether or not they get to be a part of certain things, or they get to interface with certain things, right? So far, I've read and watched a fair number of things over the years that makes me say probably not. But at the same time, it's sort of iffy because it's like the problem of every platform. It's like every platform is bad. But then, like, man, the problem is that I don't play it, so I don't see the issues, and I probably wouldn't even be the target for some of this stuff that I wouldn't even know, right? But there's two reasons why I'm messing it. So the first one is the kids, also because I really wanted to try and actually play some of the Roblox games, because it's a sort of a segment that I'm doing. But basically, that thing is a lot of custom games I'm watching for my nephew play, or my niece and my nephew and stuff. But yeah, it's fascinating to sort of look at and sort of see all the various news bits around it. There's a lot of interesting bits around the safety and sort of the nature of what they do. The biggest one is apparently they're like really, really high 80% cuts. There's a lot of people who like put a lot of their time and effort into it that don't get anything out of it, which, to be fair, I think that point is a bit overblown in the sense of like every platform has that problem. But then there's also other things like the predator problem. And then you also have like this, where the exploitation goes a bit deeper, where there's even more stuff going on with the way that they pressure people into doing certain things. So I've watched this. I've watched the follow up. I've read the articles that were sort of posted as sort of like the supporting details against it. I've just barely skimmed this morning because I didn't actually read this from before, because I think this one's new to me. But I remember hearing about this from somebody else who read it and who was telling me to sort of avoid it. And I can't figure out whether or not it's a problem of every online platform that just has kids in it, right? Because there's actually another platform that has similar issues, I would say, where let's see, where if you have a bunch of people showing up in a space and they just are sort of there and they spend time with others, what you end up seeing is that you get all walks of life coming to a platform that is inherently open, right? There was a bit of this paper which I was slowly skimming, but this one seemed a bit more, I guess, like what you call it. It This one felt much more pointed towards like video games as a whole and virtual experiences as a whole, and sort of the idea of them becoming more of a third space for people, which I thought was interesting because, I think that old adage of can a game make somebody violent? I don't necessarily know if that's incorrect, in the sense of like there's probably a social strata that the game's environment has and sort of like allows you to enter that maybe leads to that. But again, it feels so distinct from the gameplay itself, where it's like I'm pretty sure if people were on Tetris talking about like, hey, we're gonna like attack people, you'd probably get the same result, right? But all of this makes me realize it's really hard to figure out what to get my child to like play, like, or like what to allow them to play. Because like, listen, there's a kid, I have like a nephew. He's really into FIFA, right? But I've never had a good thing to say about soccer fans, not soccer players. I think soccer players have a different sort of problem where there's both an ego as well as, which is like understandable. If you're an athlete, I think you have to have a certain level of ego. Though whether or not that should extend outside of the sport, I don't really know yet. But it's hard to keep it separate. But then there's also this idea of like, how do you how do you deal with the part of the fan base that is sort of like the rowdy part that also takes part in the various bits of like media pieces of it, right? So it's like, will they learn behavior where it's like they'll get salty after a loss? Will they learn behavior, right? Not to say that it's necessarily the game's fault, but more to point out that like, just like how it would be in League of Legends, it feels like no matter what, you have this like social sphere that as soon as you enter, you start to emulate their patterns. And I've been trying to figure this out for a while, because it's very important. I think just because of my personal experiences. in the sense of like I have the kids who can be influenced by it, but also because like it is interesting to think that games and online spaces are becoming more third spaces or like third places. Is it third places? Is it third places? Third places. Ah, here we go. Yeah, it's a third place. Yeah. Okay, this is a. I don't know what this picture is. It's a barbershop in Brazil is an example of a third place. In many societies, barbershops and beauty salons are traditional areas to congregate, separate from work or home. I actually don't understand the congregation around a barbershop. I will say this: I think congregation around a barbershop is probably the worst thing to do because, like, as you talk, someone's hair flies into your mouth, and that's disgusting because you don't know who's showering. Two, some of these dudes don't need haircuts. Some of these dudes do not need haircuts. Like it's fine to just go ahead. But it's interesting in the sense that like the activity of cutting your hair, much in the same way as like video games, doesn't really lend itself to any particular pattern, right? I would even say playing hyper-violent games doesn't necessarily make you hyper-violent. In the same way that like watching a movie wouldn't or reading a book wouldn't. But it's sort of that weird social sphere that you enter where it's like these dudes could be talking about anything, right? Like they could be talking about how they hate their wives or how they don't know what to do for like work or something. Like you don't really know. And it's interesting to sort of think of it in that light, because it's even here, especially with this idea of me being so against. They're talking about Miku. You think these guys are talking about Miku? These dudes. Yeah. What is the actually? I wouldn't discount that because you ever see these here? Look, salarymen idol dance. You ever see these like salarymen where they go crazy at the concerts? Old salaryman at concert. Let me see if I can find the exact video. But there's a really good one where he's like dancing and he's going crazy. Oh, I wish I could find it. Maybe YouTube. Okay, you know what? I have found one thing. I don't know if this is true for you too, chat. Is it easier for you to find videos through Google than it is on YouTube now? Because on YouTube, I can't find any videos. But it's weird because it's like searching through Google, I get the exact video, but I can't get the exact information. Whereas on YouTube, I can't find anything. And Reddit, yeah, Reddit's also really good. Yeah, old Japanese salaryman at concert, at idol concert, light stick. God, I'm trying to find it. Oh man, wait, sorry. I'm trying to find the exact one. Is this it? Oh, okay. Well, that one's gone. Well, YouTube. Type Reddit after it. Well, I wanted to do type Reddit, but the problem is that like with the Reddit stuff, it's like I don't know because the problem with the Reddit videos is that they get very It's like annoying to try to find a video from the Reddit page, and then depending on the subreddit styling, they may hide the video, so you have to manually open it. And it auto plays at like max volume, so it blows my mind. Okay, well I can't find it, but yes, there is a video of like this like old Japanese salaryman, and he's doing the crazy light stick thing, and he's going like bonkers doing a like an idol concert. But so like there is a place where these old dudes are thinking about Hatsune Miku, right? But it is weird because it's like at the same time I don't get these kinds of third places, but I get this kind of third place. Like, okay, would you consider, for instance, the stream a third place? Because when you go into it, and this is sort of why I'm sort of rethinking how deep the parasocialism goes, because I think there is a certain level of parasocialism that leads into true social situations, but or rather, there's an overlap by which some mechanics of being social are a part of being parasocial, and then other parts that lead to being social, but not the entire thing. It's like I don't want you to stalk me and know who I am, but the fact that we all congregate here to have a conversation every now and then is like interesting to me, in the sense of like it is valuable from a third place perspective, right? What is this? People sitting at what? The Jongens Binnenplatz. What? The Jongens Binnenplatz? Boys' Courtyard in the Amsterdam Museum. Okay, this place looks awful for a third place. I don't know if I could stand people talking all around me. I'd be very annoyed, actually. Though, it's not really necessarily like a... It's not even like anything particular. It's just there would be a lot of noise. Yeah, I'm just thinking about this stuff heavily because now that my nieces and my nephews are getting to that age where they start to exploit this content, I start to think like, okay, well, how do you actually guide them? And like, I always say this where it's like raising kids is the easiest when they're younger because all you need to do is sacrifice sleep. And genuinely, I would rather sacrifice sleep than have to make these like huge decisions in their life. Like it's like, okay, well, if we move, what happens to their life? What happens to their prospects? And like, do they have the same opportunities? If we like, if I say like, hey, you can't do this and that, how is that going to turn out for them? Like, how can I explain this to them? What kind of conversations do we need to have to get this going? How long is that going to take? Like I feel like for a baby, like it was so easy to look over my. To be fair, I wasn't the primary caretaker of my nieces and my nephews, but there was a fair amount of time when I did have to do the traditional stuff of like the bottle feeding, the diapers, the taking care of them, right? And it was so much easier to just not sleep. Now I'm like struggling to figure out how do I even talk to my how do I talk to these kids, and how do I get them to like think about this stuff, and how do I communicate these ideas to them in a way that doesn't like push them away and turn them awful. I don't know. Maybe I maybe I outsource. Maybe I outsource to something like this, like a coffee TM. What's a coffee TM? A coffee TM is a type of coffee shop. Wait, that's actually amazing. A more contemporary design coffee shop outlet in Malaysia with various hawker stalls. Yeah, what if I outsource to this? And this is also very good contextually because I'm Asian. So what if I just, contextually outsource to this and I just let my children just go here? I'm like, okay, just go to your local food court and figure it out yourself. By the way, if you've never had Old Town White Coffee, you should. Old Town White Coffee is amazing. It's not just the store; you can also get the powder, but it's really tasty. Like I feel like I should just outsource, or even just to be like, here, $20 go to the like. I get now why parents put their kids on iPads and stuff. It is easier, and I get now why our parents just sort of told us to go outside and spend time outside and do something else. It's way easier than having these hard conversations. But such is responsibility. Anyways, for those of you who have any opinion on this stuff, please let me know. If any of you are parents and have ever thought about that stuff, please let me know. I've been trying to figure this out for so long now, and I think I'm now at the cusp or the breaking point where I need to figure it out, otherwise we're doomed. We're probably going to start today with some interesting things. So today's plan is this. We have community board games. We also have Fly Night. I was thinking about the order because usually people get on either later or earlier. I can't tell. Sundays are a bit weird because Sundays are kind of the day that every single chatter is busy. So I was trying to think of like, should I do it today or Monday? But Monday I'm gone. So the problem is that there's no time on Monday, which is unfortunate. If I was here on Monday, maybe we could do it because that's like the one day that every chatter is here. So, but I was thinking is maybe we just go ahead with Fly Night first and we go into the board games after. Basically today, there's a website called Board Game Arena, which you see inside of the pinned message. And we're going to be doing that at some point with the community, if we can get people. Otherwise, I just do Fly Night and I call it, because I've been meaning to finish this game too. Let me actually switch the order. And the idea is that you can just join, you make an account, and you join whoever hosts a lobby, right? So if I host you a lobby, you can join and you can play whatever the board game is. Whether it's Catan, or a quest of Robin, or a guest of Robin Hood, or Potions of Azurland. Like you have a lot of variety in the type of games that you have on here. I don't know if it's fine for me to stream, but we're just gonna try it. And the games range from very easy, so very quick, and very, I was gonna say affordable in the sense of like it's not bad to play in terms of time loss, and as well as like learning energy. But also, there's games that are genuinely complex that we could play for a few hours. So, but those ones, it really depends on the amount of people who come and sort of like the amount of lobbies we can get. This is a more of a testing day too, because I only have about 4 hours left. So the stream is either way going to end within like 4 hours. So I have to go later for some work stuff, which was always going to happen as like a early work thing. So we're gonna see how this goes. I have no clue if this is gonna work today. We're gonna see how successful this is as a concept. And if people do like it, maybe we can eventually, continue it forward, like this, or like continue on with it and play more board games. I was also thinking of making it a regular thing within the server. So let's see if people enjoy board games in general, to want to play longer term games, because there is an option to play the game sort of like asynchronously, where you get a notification by email, or I even think by text. I'm pretty sure it asked me for my phone number. It's at some point where it'll tell you, hey, it's your turn to do your move on Catan, for instance. Okay, but we're not playing Catan. We're not playing Catan. We'll see how it goes. If nobody joins and there's like not too many people that want to get for the board game, and if you want to join the board game, type like, I don't know, if you're here, I don't know, like type here if you're, and we'll see how it goes. But depending on how many people show up, we may not necessarily get enough people for it, and we'll just relegate it to like a Discord only thing, which is probably easier in general, because it was actually, I was also looking at the time zones that we have within the server. We have a lot of very different time zones, where everybody is in a whole new place every single moment, and I don't really know what to do, because some of you are like 12 hours apart, and it gets complicated depending on, if it's a work day or not a work day. So we'll see how it goes. I have no clue how far this will get as a concept, but Sunday is a good testing day because it's the least hectic and it's the least pressure in terms of like what people expect from the stream. But there is one thing that people expect from the stream now, and at least in my view, it's something that I like doing too. It's music. There's another song I have to show you, which is also another Tame Impala song, and I keep showing you his songs because it's so good. But it's a song that I think is interesting. It's like, depending on how you interpret the lyrics, it's either a very hopeful look at the future in terms of like what you're able to do, or in a way it's sort of like well, everything will happen at some point, so you can't really stop it. It's a song called Eventually, which is interesting. There's a lot of lyrics, well, there's like pieces of the lyrics that very much heavily imply that this is more so a personal experience type of thing, but I think it's a song that a lot of us can relate to in many ways. And actually, it was a song that I was going to play after we finished the Root Trees Are Dead, but I was like, we should just go. So yeah, hopefully you do enjoy the song. Again, volume warning, it's very, very loud, but I think you'll like this. It's it's interesting. This is, I think, the start of when he started, or yeah, like when Tame Impala started to get much more hopeful with their music, and when it started to feel much more like they were changing the way that they write the lyrics from stories to the way they view life, which is interesting because it's like, after Currents, I think the next album was that slow, I forget what it was, slow rock beats, R&B and stuff. And that one was entirely about the way that you feel about the world, which is weird. So hopefully you do enjoy this. Okay, I'm pretty sure the entire album is just slow fades. I'm pretty sure the entire album is incredibly slow fades that take you a very long time to get to the end of the song. And it's like you can barely hear it, but with headphones on, it's very, very clear. With speakers, it's harder to hear most things, at least for me in my experience. But with headphones, it's like you can hear everything. And boy, does that drag on. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy the song. Again, it's a weirdly hopeful song in one case, in the sense of like maybe things could be better, but at the same time, it's also very problematic in the sense of not problematic, but like very, very sort of painful, because it's one of the few romance songs that isn't like super obviously romance, but it like very specifically deals with like what feels like the grief of having been with somebody, and maybe it would have been better for them to not be together. But at the same time, there's also the angle of like, maybe it's about their life as a whole. Maybe their life as a whole is the problem. I mean, maybe they feel better about just anybody feeling like they weren't. Like maybe they didn't need to be there, and maybe everybody's life would be better. It's a very surprisingly vague song, but I like vague songs because it depends on your mood when you listen to it. You may change the meaning at any moment, and I think that's sort of the point, is that it's a feeling that is so human that it affects all of us in a different way. And it feels like the best type of writing, whether it's a story or a song, when you can capture human emotion like that and make it so relatable to so many people, without getting so specific that people get lost in sauce. It touches on a core facet of humanity. This feeling of, do we belong? Should we be here? Are the things that we're doing fine? Is there anything that we could have changed? Is there any way to go back in time? Right? It's a very fascinating sort of song in a sense. Hopefully you did enjoy that. Oh, and also I really like the progression of the melody too. It's like it feels almost like a romance song. And I played a fair number of romance songs on this channel. I usually don't like them because I'm gonna say this: all romance songs have like two modes. One is I love you. One is I don't love you. And it's very, very. It can feel very, very one note. Like if you search up like top romance songs and you look at their lyrics, it's all the same. Like search. Okay, well these are from 1984. How about top romance songs 2020, 2020s? Here you have stuck. Okay, well, maybe not Justin Bieber. That's what love is. Okay, Love Again by Dua Lipa. Be Like That by Sway Lee. Lovin' Me by Kid Cudi. What? What? Okay, I searched. I don't even. What? Look at this. What? Look at this. Top 2020 romance, right? Look at the name of that. Look at the name of that song. Oops. Look at the name of that song over here. Look, looking. Look at the name of the song at the bottom there. So romantic. The Pussy Fairy. Oh man, I will. Okay, well maybe I don't know what song categories are. Do I even know what love is? Right? Maybe pussy is love. Maybe pussy is life. Anyways, again, we'll do some Fly Night as more people trickle in. We'll see if we can get to the board games. Think about that as you think about your life, as you think about the pussy fairy visiting you tonight to give you some pussy, and we'll see how it goes. Boyfriend. Oh yeah, there's also well, there are some good songs. I do like I don't know how to pronounce his like name. Six Lack Black. I'm pretty sure his like name is Black. But yeah, I'm gonna listen to Pussy Fairy at some point. I feel like I don't know if that's a romance song, but I'll listen to it. Pussy is life. Pussy is love. Oh man, that's a good song name. They must have known. They must have known. As more people filter in, we'll get to board games. But for now, I'm gonna kill some flies because again, we only have like 4 hours today. Sorry, today's a short day. I'll be back in just a moment. I need to go to the washroom. Okay. Think about the Guna material that's out there. Think about the fact that you're missing out on very good Guna material. Okay. I have no song for you. I'll just leave you with a backing track. We're gonna go into board games. If you didn't sign up yet, look at the pinned message. There's a link in the pinned message for you to sign up for the board game websites. You don't need to provide any major details. I'm gonna send a link, and you don't need to provide me with your username. But know that your username will be visible on screen. And if you have a bad username, I will ban you. Try to make it the same as your Twitch name. If it's not the same as your Twitch name, just let me know who you are when you do join within chat. Okay. We're going to try some board games. We're going to see which ones people like. We're going to see if these concepts work. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get enough board games selection. We'll get enough of a selection of games that we can even do like an asynchronous game with everyone else in the Discord server. And we'll see how it goes. BRB. Holy cow. Sorry about that, chat. That took a while. There was like a 15-second rainstorm that flooded everything. Jesus Christ. I closed a couple windows, so it's good. We had some windows open to get some like ventilation in after doing some things this morning, but yeah, that was unfortunate. It's crazy how a rain squall or something can come in 15 seconds. It's like enough rain to cause the water in the streets to rise and just disappears. It just leaves. It's like, all right, I've done my job. It's like, thanks, man. Thanks for ruining everything for me. Thanks for ruining all the streets. Thanks for ruining the property. Thanks for ruining everything for me. It's probably an easy way to watch anime for immersion for you, but you need to sit down and figure it out. To do it comfortably, you need at least an easy way to add double subtitles. And when they copy them to clip, wait, what do you mean by double subtitles? As if for like two different languages? Actually, what you should do, I have seen, there's apparently, I can't remember where I saw it, but there was one where I saw where it highlights the subtitles on a separate window as you go. But I don't know if that's necessarily the best thing ever. But it still needs timing information, so. There was like only one specific player that could actually do it before, but it doesn't work that well on Linux. Oh, there's some programs you use for it, and you wrote some scripts, but it's still kind of annoying. I think there's a fork of MPV player that's made specifically for learning Japanese. They can do those things and more, but you haven't looked it up. MPV player, learning Japanese. What does this mean? MPV, the best video player for language learning. On YouTube by Matt vs. Japan. video players that allows looking up words. I've been using animebook.github.io. What the hell is this? To watch videos online. It's perfect and easy to use, but it seems it doesn't support some certain types of sound formats. The second problem is it doesn't allow you to switch between audio tracks. What is this? Either ABS. What the hell is this? Huh. Huh. You know, I think I found the thing that you're talking about. This is cool. I didn't actually expect this at all. I guess to me, when I think of learning languages, I think of the more traditional way of doing it, right? That I never think to myself, maybe you can use whatchamacallit, the video player itself to learn with. MVV on its own is also good, but the fork is not called MVV. I'm assuming it's maybe this one. Or maybe something similar. But this is I see what you mean now by needing to copy paste. I just sort of forget that you need to Google meanings. Because that is actually something interesting. If you don't know the language, and you hear someone say it, you can't search it up. Because you don't know what it is. So I never thought of that problem, but it absolutely makes sense because how do you translate something that you can't even understand but just by hearing it? You would need to copy paste it somewhere to be able to look it up. And then you could maybe refer back to the context of what's happening. Actually, you know what would be really cool? Here, why don't we why don't we do crowdsourcing? um what you could do, and something I've been thinking of for a lot of things actually, similar to the style, you could do something like a crowdsource thing where it's like everybody can contribute to it, and everybody can also contribute extra notes to provide clarity. So it's like you want to learn something, you learn why it's being used in this context, and then like you can have experts chime in saying, based on the Showa area, this thing means like this and stuff, right? Maybe you could do that, maybe. You see, it also has searchable subtitles in Yomi-chan. What is Yomi-chan? It also has Anki Connect, which I don't know what Anki cards are. The Yomi-chan project has been sunsetted. Is that is that good or bad? What is Anki? Remembering is easier with Anki. Oh, these things. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? Maybe my dreams of learning Japanese to date my. Okay, this is the thing, right? If a video game, Anki is a card program, a flashcard. If a video game like Love Plus, okay, and this is something that I've been thinking about. So you know how that dude married that girl from Love Plus, like a virtual character, right? Let's assume that the virtuality doesn't impact whether or not it's a good or a bad thing. So let's get rid of that entire talking point as a whole, right? If the game was made in say 2015 and the characters don't age, but they were 17 within the game, do you consider them still be to be 17, or do you consider them to be older? Because I think about that a lot in the sense of like, if he married them, isn't he just marrying like a high school girl? That's kind of weird to do when he's like almost 30 or 40, right? The one you do every time you watch my streams or during lessons. That's what it is. The flesh cards. I mean, that makes sense though. It is funny that you do that during my streams because I think about the fact that you're there busy trying to remember things while also juggling the fact that I'm talking about Pornhub comments. And or like some of the topic. Like I might even get into a very deep topic and you get really into it, like the shithole comments from two days ago. And everyone in chat was surprisingly they were getting into the shithole thing. And I was I was very surprised by that. But I can imagine you doing that while also trying to memorize things. Like you stop every 5 seconds to say Ohayo or Gozaimasu. It's like annoying to like think of. Oh man. I would be annoyed personally trying to keep up with that pace. Anyways, we're going to move on to board games now. Just give me like 1 minute. I need to go open the door really quick. I swear to God, it's 1 minute. And we'll get right into the board games. Again, make your account in the pinned message and we'll get right into it. I'm going to go. I'm going to raid off because I'm done. Athel's currently streaming. They're on my list. I can see the name. We're going to raid Athel and Red and we're going to see them. Mint is a pro. Show chat. What? Show chat feed? I'm already showing it. Okay, show chat feed. Okay, perfect. Absolutely. This is what we're gonna raid to. Okay, I don't have a raid message, so actually no. I have a new raid message. Can you do like the praying emoji and then here pray emoji? This is the raid message. Key and then like fist punch emoji. Here we go. This is the raid message. We're gonna go say hi to Athel and the Red. Thank you all for showing up. I will see you all next time, not tomorrow because I'll be busy, but the day after on Tuesday. And I'll see there's another day that I'm busy this week. I'm not sure when, but we'll have some more fun times. We'll finish more games, and we're actually starting a new one, an action-based game this week because we finished 2 games so far. 2. So thank you all for showing up. Please do enjoy your day, your night, and thank you all for showing up. We are going to try to play some more Scrabble. I don't even know how to explain this, but yeah, just go inside and type that key message, okay? Please do type it. If you don't, it'll be awkward when I'm just the only one there. Okay, bye.